What are some of the mistakes that you find that coders often make in interviews?
So you sometimes see it play out in an interview, and you'll see the same kind of behavior repeat itself as well. There's people who really like the brands and like the business, and there's people who are in it because they like the tech. And you need the mix, but sometimes you'll find, to me it's a mistake anyway, if I'm talking to someone and there's no appreciation of the business value of what they're doing, it's all about the technology. I like to see both, or at least some kind of a balance where you understand, yeah, I'm in it for the tech, I love the tech is awesome, I love my code, but I also understand that Agile in its purest form, if it's not shipping code, has no business value. And the importance of that, getting stuff out the door. So I really look for that to say, I understand sometimes I may have to make a trade-off and I'll be able to live with it, as opposed to the people who can't make any trade-offs. We need people who can take a rough spec, start working on it, talk to product, have a, sit down and say, come and do a review with me so we can do a commit. Then the product manager says, actually the functionality is not quite right, I need this tweak. And they just deal with it and roll, versus people who are going to throw their hands in the air and this is no good. We look very much for that kind of temperament as well. One of the most successful guys I've ever worked with, we interviewed, I think about 7 years ago. And he had a degree in computer science and music.
Right.
And he was one of the most creative and innovative, and he just had a flair for bringing things to life. But also he was one of those guys who really got the underlying technology. He really understood what we're trying to do. He understood how to make the technology sing. That kind of person, they stand out successes often.
I use the term multi-dimensional, but someone that maybe has some experience in a non-technical area.
Yeah, there is a balance. There's, pure technologists who are really good architects, as an example, maybe. There's a definite role for them, but an entire team only pure technologists, no business savvy, it's not going to work.
What about on the interviewer side? Have you ever seen some horrendous mistakes made by
I've
interviewers?
made some horrendous mistakes. The worst interview I ever had, thinking back many years, there was an interview and there was a lady in this interview who, she was applying for a job that she was out of her depth for. And I pressed the questions that she couldn't answer a little bit too much. And instead of shutting the interview down, I've just moved on to the next topic and the next. Eventually, she had to get the tissues out. It was a really bad interview. That was probably the worst one ever.
You bully.
Just so bad. Other ones that have not gone right, I think it could come down to people underestimating the importance of the culture fit and of them feeling like this is a place they could belong. So then pursuing the interview where it's like, yeah, this is not really for me. And then, you might have a second interview where you think, I'm on the fence, maybe even go to a third interview. And the times when I've hired those people where it's been, is this quite right? No, I'm not sure, and we've hired them anyway. I'd say pretty much all of them have worked out where I've regretted the decision.